with art happens. You know, sometimes you're listening in your car to music and you get this favorite song that you used to have, and then you get partway through like the verse and you realize you only know the first half of the words, and you see the part you don't know, and you get to chorus, it's really amazing again, and you get other moments where the lyrics are just so impactful, you know everything like your heartbeat or the back of your hand. Sitting in the studio is a gentleman that's been all around doing amazing things in the arts community and is impacted by lyrics in the same kind of way. Welcome to the show, Michael Jackman.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about you and how you're impacted by music.
Well, I mean, I'm impacted. I'm a big lyric person. I mean, lyrics and melodies to me are the most important thing, I think, that I connect with music. And, here, I'm going to tell you a great example of a session I was in years ago with Natalie McMaster, a great Canadian fiddle player, right, from the East Coast. And we were down at Phase One in Studio A doing a session with her. And we were doing overdubs on one of the songs she was doing on her album. It was the old song Danny Boy. It's a beautiful old, like an Irish song, right? And it was just her and I and my assistant, and then we had a keyboard player in doing some keyboard overdubs, and it was just us in the studio, and the lights dim. And the singer the vocals had already been done, but the singer was Mike McDonald from the Doobie Brothers, and Michael McDonald, which is an incredible voice. So here we're all sitting in the control room, and we're doing it's a beautiful slow ballad like version of Danny Boy, and the keyboard player's putting his track down, but you've got Michael McDonald's vocals coming out of the speaker, just singing this song. It's a song you hear a million times. You know, everybody kind of knows the song, and you can hum the melody. And I just remember, and we're all just sitting there, and he's putting down this beautiful keyboard pad, like just a real dreamy kind of keyboard pad. And, it's one of those moments of clarity when, especially with a voice like Mike McDonald coming through and singing the lyrics to that song. And even though you've heard that song for 20, 30 years, you realize, like, oh my God, this is an incredible song. It's a beautiful song. And at that moment, you realize why that song has been around for so long and connects with so many people. And it's just, sometimes your jaw just drops and you just go, I've never heard it like this before. Why have I never really paid attention to this song? So it's moments like that when you get a great melody with a lyric that is just so meaningful or impactful or emotional, and there's just a moment when you just connect with that lyric in a way that you never have before. Like, those are great moments, and when that happens, I just think, boy, am I ever lucky I get to do this for a living, like every day. It's an incredible thing.
And that is what you do. For those of us that do not know you or your reputation, tell us a little bit about you and some of your history.
Sure. Well, I've been making music in one form or another since I was a teenager in the early '80s, and I started off as a musician, guitar player, singer, played in bands. But I remember probably when I was about 17, it was the first time I'd walked into a studio, and I just kind of knew it was just one of those moments where I think this is actually really more what I'm meant to do. I was an okay musician, but and I knew trying to be in a band, and that's a tough go. It's a really tough road, and I never really thought that I was good enough, that way. But I knew when I saw the studio and I saw all the equipment and the microphones and the mixing board, I kind of went, this is it. This makes sense to me. So I started when I was really young, actually. I used to just be an assistant in the recording studio. I'd run for coffee, that type of thing, wrap cables, get headphones and all that kind of stuff. And that's how I started. And I just kind of kept going through that apprenticeship in the studio, and bought my own studio in the late 80s. I ran my own 16-track studio in Newmarket, Ontario from like 88 till about 91. Then I started freelancing, gravitating to Toronto because Toronto is the place to be if you want to really. It's one of the centers for Montreal, Vancouver, Toronto. Yes. That's where to be, right? So.
And in your career, you've worked with many greats from Bono, Anne Murray, The Trews?
The Trews, Big Sugar, Nelly Furtado, Hilary Duff, Gordon Lightfoot.
Wow.
Crazy, maybe the older people watching the show would know Engelbert Humperdinck. He's been around. He sold 180 million records in his 50-year career. I got to work with him, and it's been quite amazing.
Well, let's get a sample of one of your mixes before we get into some of these cool stories. We have The Trews, I believe, we're going to bring up and share.
Great.
You did the audio on this video.
I think you're probably showing something from the Den of Thieves album, which I recorded and mixed back in, I think it might have been 2005, something like that, at Phase One.
Look forward to hearing it. Let's hear it. So what is it like, really, to work with such great musicians and individuals in the industry? So give us some stories, give us some meat.
Well, yeah, listen, it's great fun. I mean, I think I have the best job in the world, right? You just get to hang out with great creative people and make music all day, all night, and 6 days a week sometimes, you know. I think one of my favorite stories ever, like you want to talk about a specific session, is when I worked with Bono from U2. I mean, that's incredible. I grew up, I think a lot of people do, like U2 is one of the biggest bands in the world, right? They're huge. And Bono was just a super, super nice guy. I just found that really refreshing. He came in, he was very approachable, very nice, no attitude, no entourage or anything like that. Just he was nice, he was friendly. He was very open. He worked hard. He didn't have any demands. He wasn't, there's no attitude type of thing. And it was just incredible to be in the room. He liked to do his vocals in the control room instead of in the booth. And so he's just standing in the control room with a handheld like a Shure SM58 doing vocals. And he was right in front of me. And it's incredible to hear, that voice that you hear on the record. It's the exact voice that you hear if he's singing in the room with you. There's no tricks. You realize he is that singer. And that is his true voice that you hear. There's not a lot of bells and whistles on it, And it was just incredible to watch him work and watch the dedication and the focus for hours, just focusing on lyrics and melodies and making sure he got it right. And it was very important for him to say, what does this lyric mean? How do I sing this? How do I make this mean something? As opposed, he wasn't just going through the motions. So like that's incredible. That's inspiring when you get to work with people like that. You kind of understand how some people get to where they are, that they're not successes just out of a fluke or, someone threw a lot of money at them. They're truly gifted and really hardworking. I think that's the key.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How long does it take to make a U2 single?
Well, in my case, it was actually, he came in to sing for a movie, Across the Universe. It was a movie that Julie Taymor directed back, I think it was like 2006 or 2007. Movie about this couple that follows their relationship through the 60s and into the early 70s. To the background music is all the Beatles songs. And so Bono came in to sing I Am the Walrus. So the tracks had already been recorded in New York, so I didn't record the music. I just did the vocals with him, and he was in Toronto, and they booked Phase One studio. So we didn't get to do the entire the music and everything. But I mean, in general, it can take, a full day or two to record a song well, if you really want to, if you have the budget, right, and you really want to get particular and choosy and picky about things, But I've also recorded, like, some of the best songs I've ever recorded took just a few hours. If the band's really rehearsed and tight and they've done all their pre-production, they can just come in and, do a few takes, 3, 4, 5 takes, pick all the best bits,
To give us an idea of the studios you work in, I know that we have some photos. If we can bring up one of those, absolutely beautifully stunning, some of these studios that you work in. Can you tell us a little bit about, for example, this one here? Yeah,
that was one of my favorite rooms when I was on staff at Phase One, and that's Phase One Studio B in Toronto. And it's a beautiful, the console is by API. It's an API legacy console, one of the nicest sounding mixing boards in the business. It's just beautiful. And you can see behind that, all those little lights are all the outboard gear, the compressors and EQs and digital effects processors and converters and stuff like that. It's really just in a remarkable room. It's very comfortable to be in as well, And that's Studio A at Phase One. That console there is a vintage Neve console, about circa 1974. It's probably known to be like one of the best sounding recording consoles like in the business. And Studio A is a great place to record live bands. And there's me there with the Trews recording. That's probably during the Den of Thieves recording sessions. On the far left, now there's another great thrill for me. On the far left of that photo is the producer, Jack Douglas, who produced, I think, the first 4 or 5 Aerosmith records. So when you hear Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion, and stuff like that, that's Jack Douglas. And Jack Douglas also produced the last John Lennon album, Double Fantasy, just before John Lennon was killed. And Jack's also worked with The Who and Cheap Trick, just on and on and on the list of people that he's worked with. So it was a real thrill to work with him for 6 weeks on this album because of just the history he has in the music business,
What in your mind makes for a good studio engineer? What do you look for in a good studio engineer?
You have to have certain technical chops, of course, because the engineer's primary job is, of course, running all the equipment, setting up microphones. You have to understand microphones, mic placement, all that kind of business. You've got to have good ears to get the right sounds, to know if there's issues and stuff like that, and getting a nice balanced headphone mix for people or a control room mix when you're working. So there's the technical side, but I think you also have to have a lot of patience. Engineers always have to, whether you're a producer or an engineer, you have to remember you're there to serve the artist. It's about the artist. It's not about you, the engineer or the producer. So you need patience. You have to let people, it's not okay for an engineer to make a mistake, but the artist can make as many mistakes as they want. And that's okay, and that's why we're there. Whatever it takes to get the performance out of the artist. So I think an engineer has to have a great sense of just patience and calm. And, you need to know when to step in if you feel someone needs a bit of motivation, needs a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a push if they're feeling a little down or getting discouraged. You have to kind of know a bit about psychology and motivation and how you get people to relax and to, get out of a funk if they're in a funk, That's really, really important as well.
So you work in big studios, you work in small studios as well?
Sure.
Have you found that the studio world, the industry has changed much in your tenure, in your time?
Oh, it's incredible now. It's, equipment and technology and computers and processing means that anybody can have a really decent studio in their homes, in their basements, or wherever they want to be. And so a lot of the big studios like Phase One in Toronto and so on, they do lose a big percentage of work because people don't understand, they don't really see the advantages of going to a big studio, and they think, well, I can just do everything at home. I have great plugins, I have a couple of microphones. And in some cases that's true. I've heard some great stuff done in home studios. It's really, really good. I've also heard a lot of really bad stuff. And so it's democratized the process. Anyone can make a record now. 30 years ago, not everyone could make a record. You basically needed a record deal to work in a nice big studio with qualified people, And now you can do it for $500, $600, $700 or $1,000. You can make your own records. So,
what makes a good mix from a bad mix as a professional?
I think a good mix doesn't draw any attention to itself. A good mix really just allows the listener to hear the song and not really focus on any of the technical things. You think of, some of the greatest records that have lasted 50 years and they still sound good today. It's just because I think they've captured the tones, the real sounds of the artists and their instruments. They've captured the performances. Not a lot of bells and whistles or too many tricks. And you allow the song to come through. A bad mix draws attention to itself in some way. There's some kind of technical problem that even though it's a good song, or maybe it's a great vocal, as a listener, you're not, a lot of just average listeners aren't aware of what makes a good mix or a bad mix, but they might just know there's something bugging me about this. Something doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? So I think, and that might deter them from listening to the song again. I just know it sounds too harsh, or it sounds too boomy, or it sounds too muddy, or I can't hear the vocals. So a good mix really should draw no attention to itself at all. It should just allow the song to jump out of the speakers and hopefully, make people connect with the song somehow,
So you're a very renowned and celebrated artist yourself, and you reside where?
I'm in Barrie.
You're in Barrie, of all places. You're not in LA, you're not in any, that's just awesome.
And anytime I go somewhere, I always just look forward to coming home. I was producing a band from Victoria, BC back in the fall, and I loved it out there. But boy, when you get home and you start driving up Highway 400, you just feel like, you feel comfortable and relaxed again. And I just live right by Kempenfelt Bay, so I can look out and see the water and everything. And in this day and age, right, with technology, you can work anywhere. Like I have clients in Edmonton and Calgary, Austin, Texas, Peterborough, Hamilton, Toronto, all over the place. I don't actually see a lot of my clients face to face anymore, and I work from Barrie. And I don't have to just, I sometimes still venture into Toronto, obviously, to do some work, but Barrie's a really nice place for me.
If I was a young up-and-coming artist, could I reach you if I wanted you to record with me, or could I squire under you and learn
Absolutely. Anybody can reach me, and I'm always happy to to give advice. If someone wants to work with me, that's wonderful. To me, everybody, whether you're Bono or whether you're an independent artist from anywhere, it's all important. I treat everyone the same. Everyone gets the same attention and the same focus, right? Everyone deserves that, right? And I also love if someone calls me and says, look, I'm an aspiring engineer, producer, can I hang out with you for a couple of days? If I'm doing a session down in Toronto at a nice studio where there's some space for people, by all means, anything I can, any wisdom I can impart on somebody, I'm always happy to do it. I never really had that when I was young. Recording wasn't really considered a proper career, 30 years ago. It was I don't think people really understood that music was a business where you could actually make a living at it, right? Now I think people have opened up to that, and so if I always I'd like to see people make some smart decisions. So I'm happy to give advice.
Excellent. I think there's other photos. I'd love to talk about some of the other photos you have before we run out of time. What have we got here? Oh, that's another yummy studio. Where's that studio?
Oh, that's a great studio downtown Toronto called Noble Street. That's on Noble Street, just off. It's in Queen West area, King Street.
Before we run out of time, Pro Tools, Cubase, who's better? Huh?
Well, I say Pro Tools because that's what I work with. And I think that if you ask someone who works in Pro Tools, they're going to tell you Pro Tools is best. People that work in Cubase will tell you Cubase is the best. People that work in Logic will say that Logic is the best. So I think whatever you're used to, it's just a tool, right? Whatever tool works, I say go for it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's absolutely a pleasure having you on this show.
Great
is there any words of wisdom you'd like to impart upon our guests before we run out of time?
Yeah, I think just do what you want to do. Just create. And even if it's just for the sake of creating, even if you don't really have a lot of big ambitions to be a star, or to be famous, or to make a living at it, I think just create. Just make music. Write lyrics, write a poem, whatever it is, paint a picture just because it makes you feel good at the end, right? You're expressing yourself. I think that's the key.
Excellent.
Right?
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Excellent. And you know how to find Michael Jack. You can find him through our website, arthappens.tv. At the same time, you'll probably see it at the bottom of the screen when he's chatting. Just click on it. It's a hot link. Look forward to seeing it in the next show. Pleasure again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Art Happens is brought to you in part by the Spalding School of Music, Backland Photography, Lipstick Horrors, Singing Madness,
What? You're still here? You're still here? Well, we got something for you then. So, Michael Jack, you're still in the studio. Hey, you're back. It's so cool. So, what's it like to work with Anne Marie?
Oh, it was remarkable. Probably
Yes.
one of the greatest vocalists of our time, Every time she opened her mouth to sing, it was perfect pitch. Perfect pitch every time.
No auto-tune?
No auto-tune. No auto-tune.
There was no auto-tune back then.
There was auto-tune.
Oh, was
but
it?
She refused to use it, and she didn't need it. She would sing 4 takes, and then we would just go through, and she would say, this is the best from this take, this is the best from this take, and we'd put it together. But nicest person, down to earth, brought her own brown bag lunch every day.
So she
really
did not
normal.
caviar and T-bone steaks.
No, just real down to earth, nice person. A lot of fun to work with.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, since you're still here, we might as well also play another really cool video mix that Michael's done. So let's do that, and we'll see you at the next show.
Strawberry lips shining in the summer sun. You fell asleep.